Hey friends, welcome to the very first Vlogmas video. I'm here in beautiful Mexico with Nate, and we decided we would film our Vlogmas videos. If you want to head over to his channel at Raw98, he's going to be doing Vlogmas as well. So every day for the next month, there he is. Every day for the month of December, we are doing a video for Vlogmas. So I hope you guys enjoy, and this video is going to be about what advice would I give myself in the past as a newbie raw vegan that would have helped me through some of the difficult times. So I want to talk about that in this video. The first piece of advice that I would give myself in the past when I first started being a raw vegan would be to persevere and to be consistent and to continue on even if I was feeling like maybe I wasn't getting the results that I'd hope or it was slow going, but just to let myself know that in a year, in 4 years, in however many years, if you stick to it, you're going to feel amazing, and you're going to, you know, if I had told myself back then that my acne was going to go away, that I was going to lose 70 pounds, that my joint pain would go away, I would have been like, oh my gosh, are you serious? But we don't know this kind of stuff because we just don't know how our bodies are going to react or heal or whatever. But I would have told myself to keep going because I would be so happy that I kept going. The second piece of advice that I would say to myself would be not to be scared of eating too high calorie. Now, coming from, you know, the health food store that I worked at, I was indoctrinated with we need to cut calories to lose weight, we need to eat really super high fat, and all of these different diet beliefs, and I was indoctrinated to believe those. Which most of society is. We are scared to eat more calories because we're scared those calories are going to make us gain weight. But the problem is we're just eating the wrong kinds of calories. If you're eating 2,000 calories of chips and fried foods, high animal products, lots of cheese and yogurt and ice cream, if you're eating 2,000 calories of that, you're probably going to gain weight as opposed to eating 2,000 calories of low fat, raw, or even just regular vegan. Because it's the fat percentage and it's the type of foods that make such a big difference. So it's not just calories in, calories out. It's the amount of calories, it's the fat percentage, it's the types of food, it's the fiber, it's the hydration. There's so many factors that come into play. And when you become a raw vegan, you have to sort of kind of work with your mindset and change those beliefs over from the calories are bad to calories are good and we need them for energy. So I would have told myself that it's okay to eat higher calories. You're going to need the energy and not to be worried about it. But that brings me into the third tip, would be to eat low fat and to not be scared of eating low fat. Because when I first went raw, I was pretty freaked out about doing low fat because I was indoctrinated to believe that we needed all these healthy fats and taking fish oils and omega-3s like crazy. Olive oil is good for you, have 2 avocados. So I was eating too high fat all the time when I was doing raw in the past, and I would always fail because I'd have these hardcore cravings, I would get sugar crashes and all this weird stuff. So I was always scared of doing the low fat because I thought it was super extreme. Little did I know is that the high fat is extreme. We don't need that much fat. We only need a small amount, 10% total of our calories, give or take. I mean, people range between, I've done videos on this, people range between the 5 to 20% fats, which I consider all in the low fat range. Anything over 20, 25% is pushing it, is getting up into the high fat range. So, but I would tell myself not to be scared of eating low fat and not to be scared of eating the balanced amount of fats and to balance them out with fruits and vegetables. To eat fats with greens, fruit alone. That would probably be my third thing that I would tell myself. Fourth thing I would tell myself would probably be to eat enough and to make sure that I get those calories in, mostly in the morning, like having big fruit breakfast, mono meals of like 9 nectarines or 6 mangoes or something like that, to get enough calories in. Because in the beginning when I first went raw, I was scared to eat these giant meals. Obviously my other point was the calories, but I wasn't eating enough. Every time that I would try raw, I would eat like these little tiny amounts and I wouldn't get enough in, and it just was not working. I was always hungry and I thought maybe raw's not for me. But raw was for me. I just wasn't doing it properly. I wasn't eating enough, and I was getting into these sugar crashes and hard cravings because my body was just craving energy. So I would tell my previous self to not be scared to eat enough. There's a lot of pretty birds singing with me here. Not to be scared of eating enough. Eat enough and intuitively eat. Like, you don't want to stuff yourself silly, but you don't want to undereat either. So you're going to have to find that small balance where you feel comfortable, where you feel full, but you don't feel stuffed. So that's what I would tell myself as well. I would also tell myself to find my fallback 5. And I tell everybody that I coach, a lot of people online, to find your fallback 5. 5 recipes that you love, that you know by heart. You're just gonna have to learn to find these recipes. One of mine is my French dressing. It's just dates, garlic, a little apple cider vinegar, some smoked paprika, and lemon juice. It's super easy. I always have the ingredients on hand, so I can always make that salad dressing. It's one of my fallbacks, and I make it quite often because it's so easy to make, it's so great, it's so delicious, and I love it. So find 5 recipes that you can make when you're tired, stressed, having a bad day, bored, you just need something. You feel like getting takeout, but you don't want to get takeout. So you have something when you're stressed out, when you're tired, when you're bored, when you've had a long day, any of those reasons where you would feel compelled to eat something that you know you shouldn't, and you want to make just a salad, you already have those recipes lined up and ready to go. I would also tell myself that it's okay to say no. It's okay to say no to family and friends when they offer you stuff, because you're not saying no to reject them or to make them feel bad. You're saying no to protect yourself. You're saying no because it's your body. You are completely in charge of what goes into your body. Now, family and friends is pretty much the number one thing that people have an issue with, because it's so ingrained in our society, and it's really difficult to say no to family, especially if they make something for you special. They bring over cookies, or they make a special meal that you used to love for family dinner. It's really hard to say no, but you really do have to find out, if you want to be a raw vegan, you have to stand strong in your beliefs. And you can talk to them. I mean, they're your family, you know how to talk to them. Sit them down and tell them, I'm not going to be eating this food anymore, and it has nothing to do with my love for you. I love you guys so much, but I have to say no because it's just not something that I want to put into my body. And that's really all you need to say. It's really difficult though. It does take practice, but the more you practice it, the easier it gets. Also, when you say no, you're training them in a way. You're training them to know that you're serious about your health and you're serious about this lifestyle. So the more often you say no, the more it solidifies their view on you, showing them that you're serious. And if you say no a couple times and then once in a while you say yes, they know that you're not completely serious. You might be, they'll be like, well, she said yes last time, maybe she'll say yes this time. And they'll constantly be asking you questions like, do you want this? Do you want this? Because they know sometimes you say yes. But if you always say no, then eventually they're going to learn not to ask you anymore. So that's what I would tell myself if I was a newbie raw vegan, would be to be okay with saying no, because it's very important to protect yourself. Then I would probably tell myself that when I get to a point where I actually feel really good and everything's working well, and I feel like I could cheat, or I could indulge in maybe some cooked vegan, or go out to eat, or have cake on my birthday or something like that, I would tell myself to stay strong and to stay the course, because those things aren't worth it. It's not worth that 5 minutes of pleasure, because I know for myself that it would derail me, and then suddenly I'd be eating this, that, and the other thing, and I wouldn't be raw anymore. So I purposefully don't allow myself any cheat days whatsoever. And it's okay to do that. I would tell myself that when I start to feel like I could get away with a cheat day, to just stay the course and to not worry about it, and to just forget about the foods that I was hoping to eat. But because we get into this trap where we feel great and we're like, oh yeah, everything's going well, and then we give ourselves that cheat day, and inevitably most of us end up eating that all the time. So we fall off our lifestyle, and then it's months later and we're like, I wish I would have stuck to raw. So I would tell myself to not fall trapped to that mindset. The The last thing that I would tell myself would be to recognize when I have cravings and why I have cravings. So there are a couple main reasons why people do have cravings. One would be stress. Stress causes cravings because if you have a hard day or you had a fight with somebody, we like to reward ourselves in a way for going through that stress or having a hard day. I worked so hard today, I deserve this food or whatever. And in those times, if you're feeling stressed out or things are heavy in your life, instead of going towards food, to try and go towards something stress relieving like yoga, exercise, take a nap, take a bath, draw, color, do some art, play some music, or whatever makes you feel less stressed and more relaxed instead of heading towards food. That's one that I would say. And then another one would probably be boredom, because a lot of people do eat when they're bored, and I did as well. And instead of defaulting to the food to fill that void, find a hobby or go exercise. Again, the same things that you can do to relax, you can do to fill that boredom void. Maybe work on some goals and dreams that you have. Work on a business that you've always wanted to build, or learn a new language. There are so many things that you can do when you're feeling bored. Read a book, watch some YouTube videos, get inspired for something that you love, and fill the void with that kind of stuff instead of with food. And I know if you feel hungry and bored at the same time, like sometimes if you're trying to work on your goals and you still feel like munching on something, maybe you are hungry, and that would be the third thing, is that people are just hungry. And if you're hungry, just eat. Go grab some bananas, chop up an apple, and work on your goals. Meditate, drink more water. There are so many things that you can do that you don't need to use food for. So I would tell myself that is to really recognize when you're having a craving. What is it? Am I hungry? I should go eat. Am I bored? I should go do something. And if I'm stressed, I should go relax. So that's probably what I would tell myself. In the past, I would also tell myself to be stronger and ask for what I want, because I find that in the beginning, I was so shy. I was so shy to ask for things that I wanted. If I wanted a plate of cucumbers, it's so easy to make a plate of cucumbers. In the beginning, I didn't ask. And it's really interesting because 3 years ago, I was here in Mexico, and I had only been raw for maybe about 3 or 4 months when I came to Mexico. And I did end up eating some cooked food while I was here because I was too shy to ask. And now that I'm here with Nate, we ask for what we want. We say, I want a plate of cucumbers. That's all we want. A plate of cucumbers, a plate of tomatoes, a plate of this, a plate of that. Can you bring like a whole head of lettuce? So they are getting to know us here, and we are just asking for what we want, and they'll bring it to us. They will bring you what you want if you ask, and a lot of restaurants are open to that, and they do a great job at fulfilling your requests. So that would probably be the last thing that I would tell myself in the past, would be to make sure to ask and to not be scared, because if you don't get what you want, then you're stuck with that decision, like the lesser of two evils, and why not choose the best that you can for yourself? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to my channel to get notifications for more. If you want, you can find some of my recipe books at this link right here, and you can find the printed book versions on Amazon. So just search over there for my books. You can find me on Facebook, Lissa's Raw Food Romance, on Instagram at Raw Food Romance, and on Snapchat, Lissa Raw Vegan. Until the next video, guys, fruit on.